Sport coming to you from Citizens Bank Ballpark in Philadelphia, where tonight WGN Sports presents White Sox baseball. It's Todd Frazier, Melky Cabrera, Jose Abreu in our Sox as they get set to butt heads with Pete McCannon's Philadelphia Phillies. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrell. Since we get set to bring you the first of this brief two-game set, as you know, we come out of Kansas City where we had that four-game series down there. We won the opener, then lost the last three, so we are done with Kansas City, thank goodness, for the rest of this season. But Todd Frazier did some damage down there, and we're both hoping, everybody's hoping, that he can reach those two goals.
He had a very good Kansas City, and lately he's hitting just about everything in sight. Not only hitting the ball out of the ballpark, but driving in some big runs. And it was just a big series. It was hot in Kansas City. The ball was flying, and Todd Frazier was riding it out of the ballpark. He had a little help from Jose Abreu, who also has had a great month. And both of these guys in the middle providing a lot of fireworks as far as the White Sox are concerned. So in the chase for 100, Jose Abreu with 96 runs batted in, 23 over the last 19 games. Todd Frazier at 94. 20 RBIs over the last 28 games, and they will lead the way here in Philadelphia, Great Hitters Park. James Shields is the man that has to nail it down against Jake Thompson. Last time out, James Shields is very good, so stay with us. We'll be back with baseball after this.
Chicago White Sox baseball is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. By Honda, great deals are waiting for you now at your local Honda dealer. And by Xfinity, Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. By Ford, America's best-selling brand 6 years running, inviting you to check out our fuel-efficient lineup at your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. And by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. Test drive their all-star lineup today. Visit buyhyundai.com.
The X1 will change the way you experience TV. That's a day that had some ominous clouds, but no rain so far, and the Phillies take the field. This is a very young ball club all the way around. It hasn't been the best of years for them, but they believe they're seeing a little light at the end of the tunnel. They've got a very productive system and some good young players. We'll see how they fare in this one. Here's how Robin is going to send them out. Adam Eaton leading it off, and Tim Anderson in the 2 spot. Then Jose Abreu, over the last 45 games, has been just brilliant. 14 home runs, 40 driven in. Then it's Melky, Todd knocking at the door, 100 runs batted in. Omar Narvaez, Tyler Saladino back in the lineup with Leury Garcia and James Shields, who's going to hit for himself tonight. The defense and how they line up for Pete Mackanin. Roman Quinn, just recalled from the minor leagues. Odubel Herrera and Aaron Altair in right field. Then it's Franco, Galvis, Hernandez, and Joseph in the infield. Cameron Rupp behind the plate. Jake Thompson on the hill. Last time we saw him, he couldn't get anything over. He had a real rough start. Since then, he's thrown it pretty well. 2-5, ERA above 5.5. Only 22 walks, 30 strikeouts. He is not a flamethrower. The umpires for the game tonight: Jeff Nelson behind the plate, Doug Eddings at first, Adam Hammery is at second, and Mike DeMuro is at third. Well, Jake Thompson pretty much auditioning for a spot in the rotation next year. They think very highly of this young man, and he's changed his motion considerably. When we saw him last time, he went up over his head with his hands before coming back down and then throwing. Now he simplified it very much under Bob McClure. We'll see how it works out for him tonight. So they've thrown the ball around the infield. Adam Eaton has taken his place in the batter's box. That means we're ready to play baseball. I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Stoney, thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here over WGN Sports. So happy you could join us for the first of this brief two-game set. And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours as Adam Eaton gets set. Adam comes in hitting at 282, 13 homers and 55 driven in, and he takes just off the outside corner. You may have heard in the background, I'm sure you did, 78 degrees at game time. So the count 2-0. Now Adam has seen Thompson 3 times and he has a couple of hits.
Thompson throws a splitter, but he's got to stay ahead in the count to use it.
Put a little giddy up on that one in the count 2-1. And here at Citizens Bank, it's 329 right down the line in left field, 330 in right. It's just a wonderful, wonderful hitter's ballpark. 374. And you got low fences out there. That was in left center. Had him out in front on that one. That evens the count at 2.
You being a pull hitter all of your career, you would have loved to hit in his ballpark.
Yeah, pull hit off right-handers. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, a little soft line and low line drives go out of here.
I know.
Ball hit sharply. Galvis, 1 out.
Galvis, if it was pretty much a straight vote for a Gold Glove, he probably would win it. But Crawford of San Francisco Giants has that reputation. I'm not sure he had the defensive year that Freddie Galvis has had, because it's been terrific.
Well, it's gotten to the point now in Major League Baseball, you just don't see any bad shortstops.
No, and they're getting a whole lot better, and he's hit 20 home runs.
It's unbelievable. Here's Tim. Well, something happened to me today that's never happened in my 40 years of broadcasting. As that ball hit hard into center field. Way back, stretch. He's right at the 401 sign, hauls it in. So Herrera got a good jump, stayed with it, and made that play relatively easy.
Herrera's got some pretty good speed, and he's off to the races. They really love the ground he covers. It's 401 to straightaway center field, and he's able to run it down.
So that'll bring up Abreu. But for the first time in my broadcasting career, I wrote out a Major League lineup that I had never heard of one of the players. Not one.
It's pretty amazing. They've got a lot of young talent here.
They've got some good people in this organization. Headed up by Andy McPhail, the president of the club. But he's got some good advisors. He's got some good scouts.
And they were left with some pretty good players in the system that Andy inherited.
That ball smoked. So Franco didn't have a chance on that one. That's his 31st double.
pretty amazing that Jose Abreu, about 6 weeks ago, pretty much just flipped the switch, and since then, it's been unbelievable. This was a splitter that didn't do a whole lot. Rifles it down the line by Franco, and a 2-base hit in scoring position.
Well, there's been some people, you know, that when we're talking about the Sox, they say, boy, it's a shame that Jose didn't have a first half like he's having now. Well, the thing about it is, it would have been better, certainly, but it still wouldn't have made any difference once that bullpen went down.
No, and it would have been a whole lot better. There would have been less 1- and 2-run games that went to the opposition if he was banging the ball. But you're right. I mean, the bullpen did crumble due to injuries and overuse early, and it's pretty much the story of this year, or certainly one of the storylines.
It doesn't make any difference what you do with the starting pitching or the offense. The two things that will take it down the fastest: a bullpen that's bad and bad defense. And when I say bad, I'm talking about our bullpen was the best in baseball in April. And those poor guys went out there, and for a month and a half, literally a month and a half, we only had one off day coming out of spring training, which was just a criminal by the schedule makers. Criminal. And they got worn out and they never recovered.
Well, you can actually make somewhat of a case for it if you're stuck in scheduling for a team that has a dome or a team that's out west, but a Midwestern team with the rain delays and everything that goes with it, only have the one off day. That is not conducive to a red hot first 2 months of the season.
That's chop foul. Sox come in hitting at .257 as a club with a 4.11 ERA. And we have played the Phillies 14 times in interleague play, and we are 6-8 against them. High and wide.
Back on August 23rd, Thompson started the ball game, went 5 innings, gave up 8 hits and 7 earned runs to our Sox in a 9-1 loss. Well, things didn't work out well, and after that, that's when Bob McClure changed the pitching motion and simplified it for Jake Thompson.
That ball hit well into left field, but not well enough. Roman is there, makes the catch. So, after a half inning of play, it's our guys nothing, and their guys coming to bat.
Up for the Phillies, Hernandez, Quinn, and Herrera at the top with Joseph, Franco, and Rupp in the middle. Then Galvis, Altair, and Thompson round it out. The defense, and now Robin lines them up behind James Shields, Cabrera, Garcia, that's Yuri Garcia, and Adam Eaton. With Frazier, Anderson, Saladino, and Abreu, Omar Narvaez gets a nod behind the plate. James Shields on the hill. 5-17 this year. His ERA 5.84. He had a very good performance last time out. Looking for more of the same in this a wonderful hitter's park.
So here's Cesar Hernandez.
He's having a pretty good year offensively, and now the defense has started to come around.
High and foul. Timmy, a long way to go, and he got there but just couldn't make the play.
If that play is going to be made, it's a much easier play for Melky than it is for Tim Anderson. It's going to go as no play. You don't hear a lot what they did with Hernandez, but he was having a tough time at second base. As you take a look at this, it's a very difficult play, especially when you don't know a ballpark. So Hernandez struggling at second, and they benched him. Pete Buchanan put him on the bench and say, sit down, take a look, and let's give you some, maybe a mental break. And since then, he's been playing a really solid second base.
There's a strike. Well, Pete Buchanan's a good baseball man.
He's been around a long time.
Yes,
he knows the game, and probably for a young team, he's in the perfect spot.
He is very much respected. Omar, one out.
Nice job, because he didn't have an angle. He had to throw it right over what appeared to be his left shoulder. And Omar, thinking he had enough time to make the play, decided not to allow this ball to go foul. Nice solid throw.
So here's Quinn Roman hitting at 219.
He is a speedster. This is just his 9th game.
Well, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing there.
You got to hit the ball on the ground and try to let your speed take over, and he's got a whole lot of that.
Just 23 years old. Yeah, he's put some stolen bases on the board. He's 4 years he stole 123 of them. It was a high of 32 twice.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, for a young guy.
Yeah. Another switch hitter. Outfield shaded very shallow and around toward left center, the big gap in right center, which is why he just probably would be worried about a cutter inside. But if you're going to play him away, you pitch him away, and here's the straight change. Nice pick by Omar, and the appeal down to Mike DeMuro, who said he didn't go, so he'll get another pitch.
Fouls that back. Phillies scuffling offensively, hitting at 238, 4.42 team ERA. They are 34-42 here at home, 33 and 41 on the road.
Big oddity with this team. They got 4 guys who play the infield who have 20 or more home runs. They have 1 outfielder who has more than 6. So normally you find your speed in the outfield. You find your power, hopefully, in the outfield, especially on the corners. But they don't have it.
Well, the whole game's changing around as he walks in. We're seeing guys bigger, stronger, faster. We're seeing great young talent come in. Not to, again, not to say they know how to play. Great young talent coming in.
Yeah, the physical aspect of their game is far superior to anything we've seen in probably any generation across the board.
Well, I've been in it all the parts of 7 decades, and I've never seen anything like it.
And a lot of those guys are playing the shortstop position.
Unbelievable.
Carrera's got some pretty good pop. He tailed off somewhat after the break. But that batting average still at 285, and Quinn getting a pretty decent lead at first. I wonder if he's seen the best move of James Shields. That is not it. But you would think Mickey Morandini, a second baseman and a good one, he can tell the youngster at first that you're dealing with one of the best right-handed moves in the game in James Shields.
I think the best right-handed move to first base that I've seen in the last 40 years. The big right-hander from Seattle named Mike Moore. But it was a balk move. He broke his.
Yep. A lot of the real good moves are.
Yeah.
You break down the right leg.
Yeah.
And hitters that key off that right leg, they see the movement, they go. Next thing you know, the ball's at first.
And the umpire didn't call it.
You're up by 2 feet.
Ball hit hard. And it's 2-0. 15 for him.
That was high and away. It looked like an off-speed pitch, and Herrera now is driven in 47, and James Shields, who has given up some home runs at a somewhat alarming pace, gives up another one. This ball's hit awfully hard. It is out away, and it was a straight change. Gives him the old bat flip. Into the Philly pen.
Well, there are a couple of guys who have more or less changed hitting to a tremendous degree. And in recent times, the first one, when I say recent, I'm going back to the 60s, was a guy named Sadaharu.
High leg kick.
That's it.
Hang time with a high leg kick.
That's it. That's exactly what it does. That leg kick is. Now, Mel Ott did it way back when, 20s and 30s. But in recent times, it was Sadaharu, and then here comes everybody else trying it. And for most of them, it worked. For some, it didn't. But if you're going to make a mistake, and you got a youngster out there who's having a little trouble offensively with the bat, you're better off trying to give him a leg kick. When I say youngster, I'm not talking about little league. I'm talking about in high school, maybe college or whatever. But you're better off trying to give him a little leg kick to see if it can get them jump started.
Yeah. They'll be fooled a whole lot less if they got some hang time, fooled with slow breaking balls.
Well, what does hang time give you?
Hands.
Back. That's
Keep
exactly
the hands
right.
back.
And that's the first thing about hitting, as great Ted Williams would tell you, is get a good pitch to hit. But the first thing about being able to hit major league pitching is you got to keep the hands back, and that leg kick allows you that hang time.
Well, Tommy Joseph was a catcher. He had a whole lot of concussions. They decided to move him out from behind the plate. They dropped him off the 40-man. He could have been a Rule 5 for anybody over the winter. Well, they brought him back. He's playing first base. He's hit 20 home runs. They go with 41 driven in, so it's been a decent year for him.
So the second walk of the inning.
Michael Franco was one of the guys they thought was going to have an absolute breakout year. Last year he hit 280, 14 home runs, 50 driven in. And that was only in 304 at bats. So they penciled him for a huge year. He's still good. It's just been somewhat disappointing. They thought this would be a breakout year, and it hasn't proven to be.
So here's Franco. You go down to San Pedro de Macorís in the Dominican, you go down to Puerto Rico, you go down to Venezuela, you see all those young kids down with a big leg kick. And eventually a lot of them are going to be right up here playing in the major leagues.
Well, that little country, and specifically a little city, is just unbelievable for the products that they have turned out. Pedro de Macorís used to be known as the cradle of shortstops, and then they started putting out pitchers, outfielders, strong guys, fast guys. It's been unbelievable.
Yeah, it's been one of those things, if you didn't know it was true, you'd say somebody's exaggerating.
Yeah, can't be that many guys come out of there, but they have.
That's out of play right side. As you may suspect, a couple of clubs that are struggling. Not a big turnout tonight, especially on a Tuesday, when Steve told you there were some ominous clouds around earlier. They're averaging 23,679 on the season.
Franco, the first Philly third baseman to hit as many as 20 home runs since 2001. It's an organization that had a guy at third, Hall of Famer, who hit. He could barely get through the first 2 months of the season without hitting in the neighborhood of 20 home runs. Michael Jack Schmidt. And there he is. Well, that's not him, but that's his number.
What a player.
Boy, and he became also, I mean, he was a great third baseman to go with all that offense.
What a player. He was something. Had some of the greatest top hand of any hitter to ever play the game. He can hit that golf ball as well.
Pretty strong guy. Came out of a conference just known for great baseball players, Mid-American Conference. He was from Ohio University. There you look at the plaque. Inducted in 1990.
There's a two-hopper. So 2 down. Yeah, Schmidt and Johnny Bench and I were paired out in Tahoe when they're together. 3 pretty long hitters. So we played this one par 5. I hit a bad tee shot over in the right rough. Johnny hit a bad tee shot over in the right rough. So we hit our shots. And Michael hit one right down the middle. So we walk up to the green. We're standing at that green for minimum 2 minutes. Mike's still back in the middle of the fairway. He must have changed clubs 5 times. So he finally hit the shot, and then we finished up the round and everything. So it was the first time Mike and I had played. He said, "Hawk, what do you think about my game?" I said, "You got no chance." He said, "Why?" I said, "Because you outdumb yourself." He ended out there about 340 and couldn't figure out which wedge or 9-iron or 8-iron to hit. That's up the middle, piece of cake. But the 2-run homer by Herrera, and it is 2-0 Bad Guys.
Robin, by logging out to WGNTV.com and click on the WGN Sports Game Zone banner for the latest stats and information. Sox Game Zone is powered by Dodd Camera, family owned for 125 years, handling all your photographic needs. Dodd Camera, where the focus is on you.
A quick 2-0 lead for the Phils. So for us here in the second will be Frazier, Narvaez, and Saladino to face Jake Thompson.
Todd Frazier certainly knows this ballpark well. That's as extreme a shift as I've seen on the left side. You've got it's unbelievable. Galvis and Franco almost standing next to one another.
Tommy Joe's at first base, playing over there so far he might not be able to get back to cover. That's off the plate.
Well, he's pretty much done away with his curveball. It's less than 3% of the time these days. He used to use it a lot. Now he has much better command of the fastball, slider, and the splitter to go with it.
Well, they got a good pitching coach. He was Mr. Cunning and Guile when he pitched.
And if you wandered off first base at all, Bob McClure was going to pick you up.
You go.
McClure just a real good one.
So he's playing it perfectly and a little soft. Looper. And right now let's check out our picks to click. Fans went with Tim Anderson. Coos going with Saladino. Steve's going with Todd Frazier. And Terry Hanley, Eric Aldrich, Roger Clare, Mike Williams, and I. We're going to go with Adam Eaton. Narvaez hitting at 250. Takes first pitch strike. Tried to double him up.
Thompson originally drafted by the Tigers in the second round of 2012. And instead of going to TCU on a baseball scholarship, which he was offered, he decided to sign. Tough to turn down second round money.
Phillies with a bevy of announcers.
They change everything around here.
Tom McCarthy in his 9th year doing the TV play-by-play. Matt Stairs, for years known as the most performance for the dollar of any player in the major leagues.
Was a great pinch hitter.
Unbelievable.
I mean, a great pinch hitter.
And never paid properly. You know, he wound up with 265 home runs and almost 900 RBIs. You're talking about covering a fastball. Matt Stairs could cover a fastball. We also had Ben Davis, who was with us as a catcher back in '04. Mike Schmidt's doing some work for him. That's out of play. Scott Fransky. Larry Anderson. Boy, there was.
Key of the slider, Anderson's.
That's the only thing he knew.
That's it. And he could thread the needle on the outside corner at the knees to right-handers with almost every pitch.
He could do it. And there was a guy that you could sit on his breaking ball.
You know, he could throw it every pitch.
Every pitch.
And also he got Houston, Jeff Bagwell. That was a trade. Jeff Bagwell from the Red Sox for Larry Anderson.
One of the worst trades in Major League history.
Well, Anderson was pretty good with the Red Sox, but boy, did they.
Oh, he's very good.
But did they give up a lot to get him?
Jeff Bagwell, I told you, Yastrzemski went absolutely berserk when they made that deal. As there is ball 4.
It's a nice at bat, a 9-pitch at bat, fouling off some pretty good pitches to finally coax the first walk of the night.
Also have an announcer named Jim Jackson. So they've got a few. Greg Murphy. Well, we all miss Harry.
Harry Kalas was one of the greats. Great voice.
Yeah.
Terrific guy. He's here for a long time.
He did it the right way.
Well,
in the booth.
Sometimes when it's your time to go, you just go.
Yeah. Saladino upset he did not do a little more with that pitch. 2 down.
That fastball was right down the middle, and at least on that one, Tyler got beat, and he hasn't been beat on too many fastballs these days.
No, in fact, Tyler against certain pitchers is one of the best fastball hitters on our team.
He's really had a great run. He was out for a few days with a calf injury that kind of curtailed what looked like a great assault. Not necessarily 300, but certainly an assault on 295.
Also another guy that's really starting to ramp it up is Avi Garcia. Boy, he has some really good at bats in that Kansas City series.
Yeah, he took some walks that maybe earlier in the year he wouldn't have taken.
Oh, he struck out. You got to take your walks. You can't expand that strike zone.
So if you do, it's the rare hitter that can actually perform with a 24-inch plate and nose-to-toe strike zone. Yeah. Vlad Guerrero may be one of those guys that could, but they're few and far between.
Yeah, some guys can control, which is really harder to do, the up and down strike zone better than they can the in and out. It's a lot easier to cover in and out than it is up and down.
Nice stop by Rupp as that slider was in the dirt. Cameron Rupp, a big man behind the plate.
First of a brief 2-game set here in Philadelphia. That's up high. Then we go to Cleveland, finish it off over the weekend. Final road trip of 2016.
The Indians come in to play tonight. 7-game lead over Detroit.
That stays fair. So Leary is retired. We go to the bottom of the second, trailing 2-0.
TNTV.com, sponsored by Jeff Vukovich, your local nationwide insurance agent serving the area for 38 years. To join the nation, visit jeffvuk.com because Nationwide is on your side.
As you check out our WGN Sports Tale of the Tape, two-run homer by Herrera. And there's first pitch strike to Galvis.
He's done a nice job this year, and you get a shortstop hitting 20+ home runs. It's not too bad. Yeah, was another one of the Philadelphia switch hitters. Being a much better, much more powerful left-hand hitter. 39 points higher batting average. 17 of his 20 home runs have come swinging the bat from the left side, and that's how he looks out at James Shields.
Here you go. Yeah, they've got some real good people here in Philadelphia. You mentioned Andy McPhail is the president. Bill Giles, boy, what an icon he's been in baseball. He's chairman emeritus. He and I had some dealings together back in '86.
I'm sure you ran into Dave Montgomery a time or two.
They really have some good people.
Sox Fest 2017 returns January 27th through the 29th, bringing ballpark fun to the Hilton Chicago. You'll score an autograph or photo with current players and coaches, as well as White Sox greats. Your favorite areas are back with an interactive space to play games, win prizes, and shop for team gear. It'll be a weekend of White Sox baseball that you won't want to miss. Tickets will be on sale soon. For most up-to-date information, visit whitesox.com/SoxFest.
Pat Gillick with him, senior advisor to the president, general manager. Dallas Green, senior advisor to the general manager. Charlie Manuel, former manager, just a terrific guy. All these guys are terrific guys. Ed Wade. Pat Gillick. I hit against Pat. Left-handed. He was a left-handed Steve Stone, but he couldn't throw as hard as you. He had a good curveball.
Well, he became a great executive.
Yes, he did.
Together a couple of teams, was the architect of that Toronto Blue Jays team that won it in '92, '93.
He and Paul Beeston.
Yeah, Paul was named to a permanent executive role with Toronto Blue Jays.
As he should be.
Yeah, he's a wonderful baseball man.
He's the one that gave Pat the wherewithal to go ahead and make the decisions. Got him. There you go. Couple of strikeouts, 1-2-3 inning, and it's still 2-0 Phillies.
third inning triple play promotion. Text Subway 3 to 97999 right now, and the 300th texter will win a $30 gift card to Subway restaurants in the Chicagoland area. Subway, fresh is what we do.
Third inning, we trail it 2-0. Another great baseball man in this organization, one of your and mine favorites, one of the premier scouts in all of baseball, Gordon Lakey.
We run into him a whole lot in Chicago as he is scouting a lot of the Midwest.
Heart and soul of baseball. Scouts. And the reason being because the name of the game of baseball always has been and always will be talent evaluation. Here's James, 3 for 17 at bat. If you don't have good scouts, you're going to be in a whole bunch of trouble.
Now, if you don't have good scouts, you're not going to get the talent for even the best player development organization. They don't have anybody to develop. They got to work hand in hand.
Outfield. Little bitty gap out there in left center as they're slightly bunched just a bit. There's a shot, but it's going foul. I mentioned Dallas Green with them, former GM here, a GM with the Cubs. In fact, Dallas owes me a dozen golf balls. And Dallas, if you're listening in tonight, I want those golf balls.
What did he lose to you besides the golf?
Well, he was the GM in '86 of the Cubs. I was the GM of the White Sox. And I called him up one day and I said, Dallas, you owe me a dozen golf balls. He said, why? I said, here you're 30-something games under 500 and I'm catching all the heat. He started laughing. He said, you're right. Not bad for a pitcher.
He swung it well, but hit it to the wrong guy. You don't want to hit it to Galvis. He's been way too sure-handed this year.
So here's Eaton. Grounded out to short.
Could be an interesting dilemma for these Phillies because Galvis has had a good year, but their number 1 or 2 prospect is a shortstop, J.P. Crawford. They thought they were going to bring him up. Didn't talk a lot about him in the late going, but he had knee surgery just after the minor league season ended.
And that's popped up towards the mound. Hernandez.
First 25,000 people who attend the Chicago White Sox game will receive a game card courtesy of Jewel Osco with a coupon for $10 off a purchase of $100 or more. Jewel Osco, your moment is our moment. So purchase tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME.
So here's Tim. Anderson went deep to center field, taking Odubel. Herrera back up against that 401 sign. Caught it just a little towards the end of the bat. Still almost hit it out of here to dead away center. And I want to welcome Keon Dolashahi aboard. Keon Dolashahi has been an associate producer with us for a while, now producing tonight and tomorrow. He'll be just fine. Taking over from Mike Leary. Just off the corner. And there's a shot, and that's fair down into the corner. He tripped getting out of the box. So he'll just cruise into second base and pick up his 19th two-bagger.
Second hit, second double of the night for the Sox. He keeps the inning alive for red-hot Jose Abreu. This is a fastball down the middle. It actually drifted right back to the middle of the plate. You see Tim right there losing his balance. Might have been thinking about 3 had he come out cleanly. He didn't, but in any event, Altair got to the ball quickly, and he's got a good arm.
And he played it beautifully.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
Boy, Jose just ripped a double, I mean a bullet, down the third baseline. Franco had no chance.
Nice stop by Rupp. You know, the Phillies made a controversial trade. Controversial in that they traded their everyday catcher with a lot of postseason experience. Carlos Ruiz went to the Dodgers. In his place, they asked for A.J. Ellis, even though both guys were going to be free agents. And A.J. Ellis was a personal catcher of Clayton Kershaw with those Dodgers. But Philadelphia knew that they were getting a guy in A.J. Ellis, number 1, who's going to be a future manager, but number 2, who is a great and willing instructor for young catchers. And they have some good young catchers. Jorge Alfaro, one of those good young catchers. He is probably their catcher of the future. And A.J. Ellis has worked long and hard with every one of the catchers here to explain to them the intricacies of that position. And if nothing else, it was a successful trade because of that.
Well, in today's game, young, talented catchers are like hen's teeth. And if there's one position that you better have some good instruction on and then good instructors on, it's the catching.
No doubt. And that's why A.J. Ellis was so important coming back. And of course, the guys in the Dodger organization were absolutely upset that he left that ball club. But here in Philadelphia, they're ecstatic.
Yes, sir. That you got to have somebody try to develop. It's gotten to the point now you don't have to work that hard on developing. I mean, you got to work with them, but as far as developing them, no, not the shortstops and the second basemen and the outfielders. Catching's a different ball game.
Yeah, there's so much to it. I mean, forget the physical part, which is trying enough, but it's learning how you can notice when a hitter is changing, what to look for to see if he's making an adjustment, how to coax your pitcher on a night when he doesn't have really good stuff, when his best pitch isn't working. What do you do? It's as much a psychological pursuit as it is a physical pursuit.
There's a strike. Well, that's why A.J. Pierzynski was so valuable, because in today's game, with pitch count at the magnitude and the level it's at, and the bullpen work at the level it's at, if you can get a catcher like A.J. and you can get another inning or another 2 or 3 or 2 outs again, from him, another 8 or 10 pitches from him to save that bullpen, boy, that's worth its weight in gold over the course of a season.
Yeah, there's no doubt, and those guys are very valuable and have long careers. They have a lot longer career than they normally have, and that one goes to the screen. And fortunately, Tim Anderson was hustling. Otherwise, Rupp got that carom, and it would have been an interesting play at third base. So base on balls, wild pitch, and the break comes in the ball hitting off the bricks and went right back to Rupp. But Tim Anderson, a little too quick. Franco says don't throw it, and leaves runners at the corners.
With 2 out, and here is Cabrera. Yeah, if you can work that starter and keep him out there another inning, that is absolutely critical.
Now Rupp
as
coming
you
up.
well know, a lot of times, you know, you get a guy through that inning and he's liable to go another 2 or 3 for you.
Yeah, veteran catchers, especially if you're going to run a young pitching staff out there, and the Phillies are going to do that. I mean, they've got some very nice young pitchers who have yet to really figure it out. And so whether it's A.J. Ellis himself doing the catching, or it's A.J. Ellis imprinting on their youngsters exactly what to do, they're going to be a better organization for this particular trade.
Chops that one foul.
Melky over the last 18. 329, a couple of homers, but 13 driven in to go with the 10 runs he scored. Far and away the most consistent from start of the season to the end of the season that we've had on the ball club.
That ball hit hard. Stay fair. Stay in the air. It will. You can. Put it on the board. Yes. A bullet out of here for Melky. And we take a 3-2 lead.
That appeared to be a high change. And Melky with his 12th now driven in 76. So the hot month or so continues. And just like that, one high change. It's a high changeup, and boy, those usually go very far. This one hugging the line. And Doug Eddings on the call, and you see the baseball. Pretty well fair.
Well, he hit that one so hard it really didn't have too much of a chance to hook.
Now it's only 3:30 down the line. And Melky getting the job done. 2 outs, nobody on in the inning. And 3 runs.
Tied. And of course, with that home run by Melky, Alex Snellius with another generous donation to White Sox charities in loving memory of Ursula. Ooh. Close. That's going to be a souvenir left side. Got those arms in just. Oh, give him a little love there, Hermie.
Big hug for Hermie from Melky.
Best light guy on the club. Armstrong.
One of the most valuable men on the club.
Well,
certainly.
he's been the most impactful individual since I've been here, and all the years I've been here. He has saved this club millions and millions of dollars. They had that streak, as I talked about the other day, 15 consecutive years, fewest DL days. Dr. Payne.
Rupp wants another straight change. Back-to-back changes.
That ball hit hard in the center field, right at him. That's a hang Wolfram butt, the 3-run homer, and it is 3-2. Good guys.
deGrom has an ulnar nerve injury in his right elbow, out for the season, likely facing surgery. You look at the numbers this year, pretty impressive on that 3.04 ERA. The injury report is brought to you by Dr. Anthony Romeo Orthopedics. If you have any shoulder or elbow problems, go to RomeoOrthopedics.com or call 312-432-2342. That's what it looks like. It's all Washington, but the Mets are hanging in there 10 over despite losing a good portion of their starting rotation.
How about David Wright?
And
one of the stars of the game.
One of the best third basemen around.
When you have the injuries, boy, they have been the club. You know, we talked about Kansas City being the club over in this league. The Mets have been the club over in that league.
Losing Matt Harvey was one thing. Now you lose deGrom. Steven Matz hasn't been the same.
Syndergaard had some problems.
Yeah, he was pushed back a time or two. I mean, it's been tough, and through it all, 43-year-old Bartolo Colon keeps rolling right along at 14-7.
God bless him. He is something.
How about the big man?
He is something. Ball hit sharply. So Hernandez is retired. I'll never forget that time we were struggling. Bartolo was with us. After that game that night, our bullpen was shot. They were worn out. And I'm sitting in the back having a beer, and Bartolo comes back, looks at me and says, honk.
Honk?
Honk. He said, honk. I go 9. And he did, and won the game.
Pretty good, but he's one of the guys who used to always finish what he started, or if not always, pretty close to it. These days at 43, he's content to pick up 7. And he does that a lot as a fanatic. Not enjoying the score in this one.
Hey, Colon is the best worker of the ball. That's hit in center field. Should be a can of corn. 2 down, but he's the best worker of the ball of any pitcher I have ever seen. I'll put it this way. I have never seen a better worker of the ball than Bartolo Colon.
When you're throwing right around 90 miles an hour these days, maybe gets up to 91 or 2 on occasion with a stiff breeze, and you're throwing 90+% fastballs, you better be able to work the fastball. He's got pinpoint control, and here it is. See if you can hit it.
Yeah, he can throw it through a teacup. That's foul. Herrera with that 2-run homer back in the first inning.
You don't mind seeing him try to lay one down, catching that Frazier napping. He got a change up away and knew it was gone when he left the bat, and it doesn't leave by all that much, by the way, at the 398 sign, but certainly enough.
15 of them.
That's a good spot. No left-hander is going to catch up from a right-hand pitcher. Something up there. We were supposed to see a different type of lineup, because Ryan Howard was supposed to play first base in home games.
There's a base hit. That's a nice little piece of woodwork right there by Herrera.
And he just reached down, got an off-speed pitch out of the strike zone, and dumped it into center field. But Pete Mackanin said he was going to play Ryan Howard because this is the last year of his contract, and he wanted the big man to go out with at least a little play. And then he hurt his knee, and so he's not going to be in there for a bit as Herrera keeps the inning alive. There's a look at a longtime Philly, Ryan Howard, who still, with all the problems, has hit over 20 home runs again.
So here's Joseph. Tommy Joseph. Walk back in the first inning. There he goes. He actually stumbled on the first step and still had such a good jump.
Well, if you can guess the right pitch, Shields got a good move to first base, but a slow delivery to the plate. And Herrera was able to beat it easily on the one-hop throw. '23 stolen bases this year.
Well, this is the time of season. Here it is, the 20th of September. You got two clubs that are eliminated. And the acuity, so to speak, the sharpness is just not there for everybody. And you can get a lot of base hits, and you can steal some bases, and you can do some things and pick up some stats in September. They used to call it the salary drive.
And now that drive usually takes place on the multi-year contract long before September.
Yeah.
They still have a lot of guys that are playing on one-year contracts. They got some guys bearing down still.
You know, on the other side of the page in September, you got a lot of rookies and youngsters trying to make a stellar showing.
Dude, they want to be in the mix.
They want to be in the mix of spring training.
Next spring training. Just at least get the invite and show them what you can do.
That's high and deep to right field. Adam. And this game is tied at 3.
Two-base hit for Joseph. He's driven in his 42nd. There are some parks that are a whole lot easier for a high fastball pitcher. But this park isn't one of them. And you throw a lot of waist high or above fastballs, you're going to be in trouble. This one almost leaves the yard, stays in, and Adam makes it closer than it should have been at second base. But Joseph slides in, keeps the inning alive.
So here's Franco. Grounded out to Frazier. Yeah, this is the kind of park right here, as is ours. If you throw a lot of high fastballs, these guys don't have to square it up. They can muscle it out there just over the fence or off the fence.
If you're going to pitch here as your home park, you better somehow develop a sinker.
To another count to Franco. That's low.
Pretty good arms in the outfield all the way around, and Joseph, former catcher without great speed, on a base hit, they're going to have a shot. James is falling behind 3-0. You would think Franco, power hitter, would have the 3-0 green light.
That's 4-3 off the glove of Tim. I don't know if he was blocked out.
Sinking line drive, and probably a play he should have made but didn't, and we'll have to see now what the official score says. And it is a base hit, a run batted in. He might have had his vision obscured a bit. RBI number 78.
Well, you can bet your bottom dollar that Tim will be the first one to tell you should have caught that one.
Yes.
4-4-0 for them, 3-3-0 for us. If you're just tuning in here in the bottom of the third inning.
Big series going on just down the road. Boston at Baltimore, leading 2-0. That game in the bottom of the fourth. Baltimore has yet to record a base hit. And the Boston Red Sox have really put the hammer down. That is some lineup, and now they're getting great work out of the bullpen.
Well, if that's the case, they're probably going to win it.
Well, they got a 4-game lead over both Baltimore and Toronto, and they've won 5 games in a row heading into tonight.
Boy, that East has got some offense. Man, they got some thunder.
Yeah, look at the lineups up and down. Even Baltimore's lineup, they hit the ball out of the ballpark because they don't run it all. Toronto's got thunder. Encarnacion's going to be a free agent. He's going to be one of the most desirable of the guys on the open market, and he's having a great year and a good time to have a great year.
Well, if there's one guy that's the poster child, so to speak, for hitting home runs with short arms, is Encarnacion.
Well,
and you can, the guys, if they only realized, if they just realized how far they can hit it, hitting with short arms, it just cuts that swing down appreciably. And the shorter the swing, the more damage you're going to do.
He's a prolific run producer and has been since putting on that Toronto uniform.
Another guy to hit with short arms too. That was arguably the greatest player to ever play the game. That was Barry Bonds.
He was, yeah, I mean, a magnificent guy who choked up on the bat from the time he came in the league to the time he left the league.
Well, the shorter the bat, the shorter the swing. The longer the bat, the longer the swing.
Well, Eddie Goodell would have the shortest arms maybe they ever played.
Eddie just couldn't quite get over the hump.
He didn't have that swing you'd want.
Not quite.
He had short arms. He's only 3 feet 4 inches tall.
There he goes. And it's academic. Awful.
Here comes Don Cooper. 2 outs, nobody on in this inning. Herrera dumped a single into center field, not well hit. Joseph almost hit it out of the ballpark, drove in a run. Franco, line drive off the glove of Anderson, and now the walk to Rupp, and that is walk number 3 for James. And a lot of the pensmen loosening up, although not throwing a baseball quite yet.
Fair ball, and that'll retire the side, but some damage is done, and they lead it 4-3.
game as the White Sox face the Twins on Sunday, October 2nd at 2:10 for Fan Appreciation Day. Hundreds of prizes are going to be given away throughout the game. For tickets, visit whitesox.com.
Top of the fourth inning in this 4-3 Philly lead. Narvaez, Saladino, and Leury Garcia. And they are going to change that Franco single to E6 in the RBI. There's a strike. Omar walked his first trip.
So the run is unearned, but a run nonetheless. Eventually what Bob McClure wants to do with Thompson is get him back to going over his head with his hands instead of doing what he's doing now, which is like what David Price started to do, simplify his motion. Hands stay, the highest they get, letter high. Also, he was having so much difficulty with his curveball and command of his curveball that McClure said, let's use that very infrequently. Go with your slider, your splitter. And the splitter looks like a slider on occasion, and a couple of different fastballs.
Pokes that one foul. Yeah, I think it's a 2-2.
What do you think about the emergence of Omar this year?
Very impressive. Very, very impressive. In fact, I would say, let's go back a few years. All the young catchers that we brought up, probably as impressive as, or more impressive than anybody.
Yeah, I mean, he got an opportunity that he probably didn't dream he was going to get this year, and the injury to Alex Avila.
Well, his presence.
He's made the most of it.
Yeah, he has. Yeah. He looks like he's been here. There's a shot. Just foul. I mean, just foul.
Doug Eddings turned around and had a look at it, and Narvaez thought maybe it caught the line. Darrell Boston thought maybe it caught the line. We'll take another look. It is a rocket. It's hooking, and wow. I mean to tell you, it might have caught the outside of the line, but one way or the other, it's awfully close.
Well, if they review it, I don't think it's going to be conclusive.
No, the fact is, they can review it because it's over the head of Doug Eddings. If it's in front of Doug Eddings, you can't review it. That one you can, and not worth taking the chance, apparently.
That's just about bad luck there. That ball hit well into left field. Quinn is there. Roman makes the catch. But you got to like the way Omar also. He's been really impressive behind the plate, but also with that bat.
Well, he seems to get good at bats most of the time. What I like about him is he is much more accomplished than a lot of the young people we've seen come to the major leagues at blocking low pitches.
Well, yeah, the defense, it looks like it's there, but the thing is, it's very seldom he has a bat at bat.
Yep, and you've always said you see more pitches and you become a little more dangerous.
You become more dangerous. That's the only thing you want to do at the big league level. We talked about it, and we'll continue to talk about it, especially for the high school kids out there who are watching in tonight and want to be a Major League Baseball player, and the college guys who are watching in want to be a major. You want to get to the point when you put that bat in your hand and step in that box that you're dangerous. That's all. It's not that you're going to hit. You're going to be dangerous. And with that, that means it takes mechanics out and brings approach in. You got to figure out how you can be dangerous against this guy. If I'm hitting against Jake Thompson tonight, I'm going to stand right on top of that plate. Absolutely. And make the umpire back me up a little bit so that he cannot freewheel any kind of breaking ball. He's got to make the change. He's got to make the decision, not me. Now, if he makes his good pitch, I'm going to get out. So, you know.
I mean, that's always the case. But what you're doing from a sight line basis, being a pitcher and watching guys that get on top of the plate, you're pretty much making it more difficult for me to throw a pitcher over the outside corner because you're standing right there and there really is no outside corner. Now, I might throw it there, but it looks to me, again, sight line, and that's everything. It looks to me like throw the pitcher over the outside corner is going to be right in the middle of the sweet spot of your bat. Now, if you pull off it, that's one thing. But if you don't pull off it, you've effectively taken the outside corner away from me.
That's the whole intent. And it makes you think.
I have to.
Makes you think. Now, if you get a good catcher behind the plate, like you did in Baltimore with one of the best, Rick Dempsey, he's going to make somehow between you and him. Now you guys are going to turn it around and try to make me make an adjustment.
But I like the story you told the other day, and I wish I was still pitching to employ it. Throw the pitch and yell, "Look out" to you, and then maybe break it over the inside corner. That seems like a good plan to me.
Well, Jerry Boxer, I'll never forgive him for that. You talking about being embarrassed? I'm sitting on my behind, and the umpire calling strike three. So here is Leary, grounded out to first. No, but the whole thing is having an idea. You don't teach guys how to hit at the major league level. You teach them how to be dangerous. If you got to teach them how to hit at the major league level, they're not going to make it. That didn't take long. 1, 2, 3. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth.
Sox checking an official White Sox debit card, only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/White Sox to learn more. Wintrust Community Bank, member FDIC.
Well, we got some people here. Mike Sudol and Jim Foley, Jim McBride, Duke Thompson, Lou and Maria Kazuski. Pantola, Paul Pantola, Kelly Dockey, Bob and Kathy Jacobs, Bob Stefano, John Rudnick, Jeff Corrier, all with Tommy Sheridan, Rob Boyes, and Lindsey Jordan, our doll, Lindsey Jordan. Tommy didn't come. Where's Tommy? He's downstairs. Welcome. Bring us some luck now, all righty? Just hang out if you want.
They had a tour of the football field, which was kind of nice. And here they are, enjoying palatial splendor from our booth.
And there's out number 1. It's a 4-3. Yeah, these are premium seating department people who sit in those premium seats and enjoy it. And Harold Baines and Ron Kittle here with them.
I saw them before the game as they were kind of herd everybody together on the bus to get them over to the football field. It's like herding cats.
There's a ball. Thompson struck out his first trip. You're just tuning in. They scored 2 in the first, 2-run homer. We scored 3 in the third. That was a 3-run homer by Melky. They picked up 2 in the bottom of the third. Adam Eaton. Can of corn. 2 down.
James could use a quick 1, 2, 3, 4th. Get a tough first, a good second, a tough third, and trying to keep the pitches to a minimum. He's used 66 of them so far.
Boy, that is one ugly guy right there. Whew.
Let's see. I didn't know they made cards in the 1920s.
Stevie.
Is it?
Don't push it.
Is it? That's you, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. You got nothing to laugh about. Your nose is heavier than mine.
Yeah. Well, it's been a long time.
All right, nice inning right there, but we still trail it by 1.
Now get access to over 45,000 fee-free ATMs nationwide. There's a young man who's wearing a big glove. Anything comes to him during the game, I'm sure he's going to field it.
James Shields will lead it off. Yeah, that group right there, the premium seating people, they're going to have a good time with Kitty and Harold. Of course, Harold, you know, he'll talk to Harold.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Harold is loquacious. But I think Ron Kittle.
Look at this.
Will be hit. Not much you can do as James Shields beats out an infield hit.
Kansas City special. Right
Actually,
there.
nice way to start the 5th inning. Darryl Boston, I think, is asking for the game ball.
So here's Adam Eaton, a grounder to short and a pop up to second. And that's fair. So 1 out.
For Thompson, he has just a little bit of a sinker. It's not a sinker with great movement, but good enough where you're going to throw a few more ground balls, and in this ballpark that really comes in handy. You saw what happened in the Cabrera at bat when you get something up.
Timmy, last time up, shot a double down into that right field corner. Took that pitch nicely. Long looking, too long for Tim. And that's off the plate. 3-0.
Phillies pen up and going. It's David Hernandez.
John McLaren overseeing things down there. Former skipper, and there's ball 4.
White Sox fans, celebrate your culture with Hispanic Heritage Night on September 30th, presented by Miller Lite. There's going to be Latin music and dancing, special activity for kids, an on-field parade, and a post-game fireworks show. It's not just a good time, it's Miller time. Miller Lite, official beer of the Chicago White Sox. Tickets start as low as $10. And to purchase, visit whitesox.com/NHH. So meeting at the mound with Bob McClure and the entire infield on what they would like to do and how they want to pitch to Abreu, which has not been particularly successful tonight.
And let the guy down in the pen get a few more tosses in. Abreu with that bullet double down the third base line. He also walked and scored. 2 on, 1 out. Melky on deck.
Used to tell the runner at first in a situation like this with 1 out and a double play ends the inning. We used to tell him, get a piece of the pivot man and make sure you disrupt the throw to first. But these days that rule is pretty much taken out, the idea of trying to take out the pivot man. You think we're going to see that one changed?
Yeah. Yeah, it's too vague. It really is. It puts too much pressure on the umpires. I think they will get a few things done. I really do. only because it's so obvious.
Yeah, I mean, I would certainly hope so. Again, you don't want a whole lot of rules up to the interpretation and the umpires, and that's what's happened, especially the play at the plate. We've seen the plays at second base. Same thing.
Well, Stevie, you know yourself that they're trying to find ways to speed up the game. There's really only one way to speed up a ball game. That's from the umpires. They're the only people who can speed up a ball game.
Well, they can certainly do that by making sure time between pitches is kept to whatever it is they count.
Yeah.
They're going to make a decision as to how long the pitcher is going to get when he has the baseball in his hand before he has to deliver it. And then it's one thing to make the rule, it's another to see enforcement of that rule. But if they enforce that rule, we'll see game times going down.
Well, in my opinion, they should get. We mentioned the 3 guys who are going to be handling that. Uh-oh. Nice play right there by Galvis. Wow. Beautiful. Meanwhile, it hurts us, but we're halfway home, trailing 4-3.
Tampa Bay Rays on Thursday, September 29th at 7:10. First 10,000 fans to enter U.S. Cellular Field will receive a White Sox performance T-shirt. For tickets, visit whitesox.com/Thursdays.
4-3-0 for them, 3-4-1 for us here in the bottom of the 5th. If you're just tuning in, and here's Roman Quinn. But getting back to that. You got John Schuerholz, Joe Torre, and Tony La Russa, the 3 that are going to be handling most of the, if in fact there are any rule changes. Get over there. That'll be a base hit. But they're also going to have, in my opinion, a couple of senior umpires like Joe West and somebody else. Who's the president of the Umpires Association. Get them in there and get them in a room and say, fellas, we got to come up with something to speed these games up. Let's sit down and let's don't leave here. We'll order lunch. If we have to, we'll order dinner. But let's get something done about because we can't do a thing without you guys. We cannot change enough rules to speed up these games without your help. Because right now, unless you got control of the umpires, which we don't, you can't control the game. I guarantee you, if it's up to Joe West, we very seldom would have anything over a 2.5-hour game.
Yeah, there's a few things certainly they can enforce. They can enforce catcher's trip to the pitcher.
Sure.
Just a limited number of those over the course of one pitcher's performance.
Get in the box, guys. Get in the box.
Get in the box. Give a pitcher 25 seconds if you want. If it goes over, you call a ball, you start again.
Well, Jim Angio, our Hall of Fame director, times pitchers many times in a ball game, and he'll get them at 40, 45, 48 seconds.
Well, that slows the game down to a crawl. And there doesn't seem to be any apparent reason for it.
They would have to throw Gabe Morrell in that mix too, because they want the games to get it a little quicker themselves and his crew. There he goes. These guys are getting some nice jumps. Not great, but nice jumps.
Well, they know that if they don't get the good pickoff moves, James Shields is not using a slide step, and it's really hard to throw these guys out if they've got a 3-step jump. It's certainly a decent enough throw, but Quinn got down there.
Yep, out there in right center.
Probably going to be a wild pitch, you would think.
So that will be the 7th wild pitch for James.
That one in the dirt. Well, the Omar, when he looks at that one, will realize that the backhand of that one wasn't the best technique. Pitch number 74 on the way. And now the infield's going to have to come in.
Anderson halfway. Saladino just a little short of halfway. Corners halfway. Yes, he did.
All 4 pitches have been out of the zone, and Carrera finds himself at 2-2. This one way out of the zone. He swings at a pitch that bounces in front of the plate.
Well, the irony of that, what you just brought up, is true, but the irony is that you're seeing a lot of guys now, not so much guessing, but looking for more pitches rather than just looking for the ball. That's one reason you're seeing a lot of offense from some of these clubs. If you go to that plate and you're just looking for the ball and trying to react to it, you're not going to hit a whole bunch.
But look, this whole year, James Shields used off-speed pitches over 70% of the time on 2-strike counts.
Well,
and so, I mean, yeah, you can see that, and that's available for anybody to look at. You see that and realize that if you wait back, you shouldn't be fooled on off-speed pitches. Now, occasionally, obviously, less than 30% of the time, he's going to throw a fastball on 2-strike count, but
well, those are numbers right there that are very valid. And there's a base hit, and it's 5-3.
And that was a breaking ball. It was an off-speed pitch, and he waited back. And His third hit of the night produces his third run batted in of the night.
Well, those are the kind of numbers that are very valid and should be absolutely utilized by the hitters.
There is no doubt. So the stolen base, the wild pitch, and through a drawn-in infield, a base hit. What a wonderful advantage for a hitter to hit with a drawn-in infield.
Here's Tommy Joseph, a walk and an RBI double, plus he scored. There he goes. It took a little time getting rid of that.
There was a zero chance, though. I mean,
yeah.
Herrera got literally a running start, and without a slide step, you're just not going to get these guys.
Well, I think that's the reason he took a little time.
You watch it here.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, high leg kick, slow to the plate, and Herrera's in easily.
He knocks his hand off the bag. What are you doing?
Second tonight, they're going to take a look at it to see if, in fact, the tag was still on him.
Yeah, if he keeps the tag on him.
The only thing you can't do, you can't knock a guy's hand off the bag. So they'll take a look
but I'm saying
at
if he tags him, keeps the tag on him, and his hand comes off, that's
absolutely,
he's out. But you can't knock it off.
Okay, so good pick by Saladino. The hand then, well, it looks to me like he might have knocked it off the bag. Yeah.
That's what Herrera was upset about.
Well, right there, yeah.
I mean, that's more definitive.
He not only reached back and then he smacked the elbow to knock it off. So. Now Robin wants him to take a look at it. Look, it becomes a numbers game in stolen bases. The average time for a pitcher once he comes to a set position, average time 1.3 seconds. Average time from a catcher, which they call leather to leather, from the time the ball hits his glove to the time it hits the glove and whoever he's throwing to at second base, that's 2 seconds. You combine the two, 3.3. If it's over 3.3, your good base stealers are going to steal all day. If it's under, then it's going to be very difficult to run on. And James probably a bit over 1.3 because no slide step, higher leg kick than most, and a slower delivery.
Well, if he's going to do that, he's got to hold the ball on.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. And plus, I mean, I know he's been around a long time, but to combat base runners, a slide step is pretty much essential. Okay, so here, and to me, like he took a good shot at whacking the elbow and knocking it off the plate, knocking it off the base rather. So let's see what they say in New York.
Well, their numbers are certainly valuable in many aspects in baseball. But, well, like hitting, you do the math. When you walk up and you step in that plate, most hitters are 7.5 underdogs to fail.
And he is going to be safe at second base, so will go as a stolen base.
Well, you know one thing right now, Herrera would love to steal third.
It's going to be Saladino that is going to be charged with holding him close, as Anderson is playing Joseph as somewhat of a pull hitter.
Boy, there was a hanger that could have been hit a long way. Didn't hit it real solid, but that one got away with.
Sox bullpen up and going. With an ominous start to the 5th inning.
He got away with another one.
It is Michael Inoue loosening in the pen.
Another breaking ball on an 0-2 count. First of 2. Night game tomorrow. That game will be over Comcast Sportsnet. And then we will take off for Cleveland after the game. Arrive in Cleveland, wee hours of the morning, for a 3-game weekend set.
Enjoy an off day in Cleveland and then take on the Tribe for the final 3 road games of the year. And from Cleveland's standpoint, it could very well be the clinching games if they can knock a couple off the magic number.
Starting Monday the 26th, a 7-game homestand to finish it off. Two and two. Base hit.
That fastball was up in the eyes of Joseph, and after a steady diet of off-speed pitches, he finally got a fastball up and away and took it into right field, just past Tyler Saladino. He got on top of that and hit it hard. Narvaez gave him a low target away. It was up and away, and it cost him.
There's Franco. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI. Runners at the corners, nobody out. Check that. They changed that to an error, so he is 0 for 2 with no RBI. And get fouled. It will.
He broke the bat. Have to go back for another one. This one hooking and misses by a couple of feet.
That's inside. After 6 in Baltimore, it is still 2-1 Boston. Top of the 6th at Citi Field. Mets and the Braves are tied at 1. Bottom of the 7th at Progressive Field in Cleveland. Kansas City and the Tribe tied at 1. Tampa Bay leading the Yankees 2-1. That's bottom of the 6th in St. Pete. Then Hurdles Pirates leading Milwaukee 2-0. Bottom of the 3rd at Miller Park. One out.
That's been the problem since the All-Star break for Michael Franco, is that he's swinging at just about everything, very much over anxious. Has all kind of skills, but that ball is way off the plate.
So here's Cameron Rupp. 0 for 1 with a base on balls. Outfield straight up. Spaced about equidistant.
Good opportunity if you can get the ground ball. Although Rupp hasn't grounded into an enormous amount of double plays, just 9 of them, 355 at bats. He does have an uppercut swing.
Two strikes.
Up originally 3rd round draft pick of these Phillies back in 2010.
Up 6'2", 263 they got him listed at.
Nice size fellow.
He gone. 2 down.
James trying to pitch him way out of some trouble, and this is a curveball. Last time out, probably the best curveball he's had all year, and that was one of the best curveball he's thrown tonight.
Where James has really had some problems this year is every time he's thrown a fastball for a strike, somebody's turned it around.
Yeah.
Now, if he's gotten it upstairs on purpose, that's been okay. Or if he's got it in as more or less as a show me pitch, that's okay. That gap out there in right center field. Get over there. Oh, a good play. He gave it to him quickly. That's what you want to do. Give the pitcher as quick as you can. They do score 1, and they lead at 5-3.
For the 6th, and it's the AT&T Call to the Pen, brought to you by AT&T, mobilizing your world. And it is David Hernandez in relief of Jake Thompson. Thompson went 5, gave up 3 runs on 4 hits with 3 walks, and Hernandez on for the 65th time. ERA 3.92. Opponent's hitting 2.67. There you look at the numbers. He's got a 2-run lead to protect, and Melky to lead it off.
Melky responsible for those 3. 3-run homer in the 3rd inning. His 12th. He now has 76 driven in. Win. 1 out. Here's Todd. He's 0 for 2. Last time up, hit a line drive right at Herrera in center field. Todd sitting on 37 homers, 94 driven in. Jammed himself right there.
He got away with a hanging breaking ball.
Yep.
And he's fortunate. White Sox fans, don't let aches and pains keep you from doing the things you love to do. Schedule an appointment at any of our 340 facilities by visiting Athletico.com/appointments. Athletico, the official physical therapy provider of the Chicago White Sox. Athletico, better for everybody.
Narvaez has walked and he has gone out to left field.
David Hernandez was a starter for the most part when he was with the Baltimore Orioles. When he found his way to Arizona, they moved him to the pen full time. And he actually had some very good years. 2.38 ERA 2011, 2.50 ERA, 72 appearance in 2012. But he got injured, missed the 2014 season, worked his way back to the major leagues with Arizona. Didn't have the same stuff. And now here he is in Philadelphia.
The 1-2 pitch.
Joe McEwing able to get out of the way of that line drive.
Top of the 6th inning now in New York. Well, Atlanta leading the Mets 2-1. And there's a nice piece of hitting right there by Omar. Didn't try to do too much with it.
This is what he's been doing a lot of. That was a high fastball just off the outside corner, but he's in protection mode and keeps the inning alive. Tyler Saladino.
Tyler's 0 for 2. He's due. 5 runs, 6 hits, no errors for them. 3 runs, 5 hits, 1 error for us. As here comes Bob McClure.
Philadelphia bullpen up and going. They summoned a left-hander, and there is the left-handed Joely Rodriguez.
I don't think they're going to let him pitch with that white wrap on that arm.
I would think not. Nice idea, though.
That's great if you can get away with it. Oh, man. Come on, Tyler, light him up right here.
Pretty good pitch to hit there, although it was down. It was on the outer third.
Just did get a little bitty piece of it. Boston now leading Baltimore 5-1. Top of the 7th at Oriole Park.
Nice check by Tyler, as that sweeping breaking ball was tantalizing enough to have him start to go get it before finally checking it up. So the advantage of Omar Narvaez running with the pitch. Tommy Joseph well behind him at first base.
That's fair. And he is safe, and he is out.
Third out at third, not a wise play.
Now on the first of the last out. Meanwhile, it'll be a hit. And we'll go to the bottom of 6, still trailing 5-3. Philadelphia Here in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's been a battle for James tonight.
Ready to deliver pitch number 94.
Here's Aaron out there. He's going out to right and he's going out to center. Good rip and a good pitch to hit. David Ortiz has home. He's driven in 3 runs in that game. That's number 36 for Big Papi. He now has 121 RBIs. The ball hit well into right field. And Adam can't get there. So the leadoff double, that is his 6th. 2-bagger.
Hits this ball pretty hard. And that's going to bring out a pinch hitter for David Hernandez. Pete McCannon looking for at least one more insurance run.
Here's Cody Ash. Cues that one off the end of the bat. Count evens at 1. Cody's 26 years old, born in Mark Burley country, St. Charles, Missouri. We miss Mark Burley.
Good man.
Oh, great. Great. That is not a good at bat, even though it falls in.
Now that pitch was out away. There's not much of a chance to pull that ball, but he turned it into a pinch single.
Meanwhile, Althier's still standing at second. And they go back to the top of the order. He's Cesar Hernandez, who's 0 for 3. You get guys like Mark Burley, those are. He don't come along very often. What he did for this ball club on the field and in that dugout during a ball game, you just can't buy it.
Hernandez can't lay the ball down. 3 sacrifices this year.
Make it 4. Good play. Shields.
Hernandez wants him to take a look at it. Now the question is, will they? We'll take another look. Perfect bunt. And I believe he was out by a half a step or a quarter of a step.
Now the infield in. So a real good play right there by Shields. Roman Quinn, a walk, a fly out to center, a single, stolen base. He scored twice.
And with the infield in all four positions, you have to take into consideration that Quinn, the speedster, can also bunt.
Ate himself up right there. It's 6-3. It's 7-3.
You get a chance to hit with the infield in each and every time. There's probably another 50 points on that batting average.
And here comes Robin. So a battling, tough evening for James Shields.
And that's going to be it for James. He'll leave for the moment with the score 7-3 after 105 pitches. We'll step out and be back after this. Quinn at first base. Only one out here in the sixth. And he comes on to try to stop the bleeding. You know, he's had a pretty good run out of the bullpen. This year, his 20 appearances, 3.24 ERA overall, total of 25 innings out of the pen.
So here is Herrera, 3 for 3. 2-run homer, couple singles, 2 runs scored, 3 RBIs. Takes first pitch strike. Seven 9-0 for Philadelphia. 3-6-1 for our guys. Big gap in right center.
Huge night for Herrera.
Boston 5-1 lead over Baltimore. Bottom of the 7th inning. Mookie Betts has 3 hits in that game. He's hitting .317.
Well, he's going to be right there along with David Ortiz battling for the MVP.
Ortiz hitting .319. And Ramirez hitting .292. That's out of play. Bogart's hitting at .297.
It's some lineup, isn't it, with Pedroia? It's some lineup. David Ortiz has a chance to wind up in the neighborhood of 130 runs batted in at 40 years old.
Well, you know, it would be in one respect a wonderful thing for him to win the MVP and retire.
Well, he says he's going to retire one way or the other.
Well, I think probably they'll do some talking to him. I know we'll all hate to see him retire. Has he gone? 2 out. Yeah, he's just great for the game. Too many people that really just love to watch that man play.
You know what he said was he loves the playing of the game. That's not the problem, because obviously we haven't seen any fall off in production, but he said what he has to do in the wintertime and what he has to do on a daily basis to get himself ready to play the game is something that's worn on him.
2 hours every day before the game it takes. He starts 2 hours to get ready to play the game. And our Jimmy Olsen out in Seattle, our crack correspondent out there, just said Big Papi made history again. Most home runs in his final season, if it is indeed, and he's still got a couple weeks to go with 36.
Pretty amazing, right in the middle of the batting average race. One of his teammates, Dustin Pedroia, is second behind Altuve. Mookie Betts, another of his teammates, leads in multi-hit games, now with 63 of them.
Cues that one, and that's going to stay fair. So Joseph is retired, and that'll retire the side. But they come up with a couple. We're into the 7th, trailing by 4.
Jubal Herrera, a 2-run homer, a couple of singles, 2 stolen bases, 2 runs. Been a busy night for him. Melky Cabrera, 3-run homer in the 3rd inning. Great deals are waiting for you now at your local Honda dealer. And we've got a new pitcher coming in the ball game. Dubre Ramos on for the 41st time. 1-2 ERA, respectable, 3.26. Especially when you have this park as your home park. Opponents hitting just .231. Nice walk to strikeout ratio.
Leury Garcia will lead us off. J.B. Shuck has come out on deck to hit for Inoa. If you just joining us, they scored 2 in the 1st. We scored 3 in the 3rd to take a lead. We've had another lead in a ball game. They scored 2 in the bottom of the 3rd. They had 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th.
Ramos originally signed by the Cardinals out of Caracas, Venezuela, but the Cardinals then released him. Phillies kind of happy they did. Signed by the Phillies in 2012. And here he is in their pen, doing a pretty good job.
That's up high.
Juan Minaya getting loose, as you know, will be taken down for a pinch hitter.
Good rip right there by Leury. May have heard in the background 16,096 in attendance. The area. Very talented young player. He can do a lot of things. but he's got to get to the point that he can get over that hump. And there is the leadoff walk.
Join us for the White Sox Bags Tournament on October 1st at U.S. Cellular Field. Grab a partner, come out to our tournament and see if you can win the tournament, take home some cash prizes. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/bags.
So here's Shuck. Hitting a 208, 4 homers, 14 RBIs.
Elvis comes in to have a word with Ramos. Wanted to know exactly how he's going to pitch him. See where he lines up. He's playing pretty much up the middle.
Outfield straight up. Just a little small gap out there in left center.
JB is 1 for 5 as a pinch hitter this year. Sox overall 8 for 39 in the pinch hitting department, with a grand total of 2 runs batted in.
And of course, a little note of interest on this day back in 1998, September 20th.
Cal ended his streak, 2,632 games. He willingly ended it, saying that we're going to end this tonight. I'm not going to play. And that was that. A streak that I can't see anybody forgetting, breaking it. Nobody's going to ever approach it. You got to play every day for 16 straight years. I'm not sure that's going to happen anytime soon. Now they give trophies to guys who play in 30 straight games.
Oh man, there he goes. Got him. So he is now 1 for 2 in stolen bases.
Rupp always has had a very strong arm. Our Mazda replay cam, and it's always a gamble. 4 runs down to take off, and boy, it seemed like the action was frozen.
Well, when you have been eliminated, it's less of a gamble.
Well, that's true. And there he is, and Rupp has a rocket of a throw. And he cuts down Leary at second base.
Pretty good footwork right there, too. Yeah, that was some kind of streak. Yeah. And there's a base hit for JB. But I remember that night we were at home, and after the game, Harris and I were downtown for a long time, lived there. And I rushed home. I lived about maybe 6 miles from the ballpark. Jumped out of the car, went upstairs, turned it on, and watched the lap around the field.
Yep. Great night.
Well, you brought tears to your eyes. I mean, to see something like that and be privileged to see a streak like that. When he broke it.
Well, McClure out, as Ramos has gotten under most everything, and he wants to remind him to stay on top of the baseball.
Big gap out there in right center.
Interesting part about that Cal Ripken scenario was, you mentioned a guy that pitched to him, Mike Moore, hard throwing pitcher, hit him right in the head on the 29th of May, and it was hit him so perfectly that it actually broke the batting helmet in the shape of that baseball. The next night, Cal took off. He didn't have concussion protocol or anything. They took him out of the game for precautionary reasons. Did not play. On May 31st of 1982, he started that streak that went on seemingly forever.
He was a professional when he came in his first year. I remember '83 running with Baltimore. It was just going to be a question of who won between our Sox and Baltimore to see who was going to win a World Series.
Well, it took Tito Landrum in the 10th inning to hit one in the upper deck to win 1-0.
And they knew, because Lamar Hart was going the next night, Baltimore knew if we won that game that they were in trouble. But the thing about it was, earlier we had some battles with those guys. They drilled some of our guys. I remember hitting Greg Luzinski. They hit Greg Luzinski right in the knee. Hit Kittle in the knee. And Richard Dotson is there as they good pick, throws it, and they turn it over. 7th inning stretch. We trail it 7-3.
Schedule and a big game in Baltimore. Boston leading 5-2. That game is moved to the top of the 8th. Detroit got to win their ball game and stay in the wild card race. And a lot of the games played later on. Mets losing their game. And St. Louis trying to stay relevant in the wild card, winning at Colorado, but a long way to go there.
That's the story here that you check out our Xfinity tail of the tape. But talking about that, they've been drilling our guys, and we drilled some of their guys. Richard Dotson was pitching. He drilled Eddie Murray. I think he was pitching for them. They drilled, I think it was Kittle. Cal Ripken comes up. Dot just drilled him right in the back, right in the middle of that 6th. I'll never forget this. He was, he was this, virtually a rookie, his second year, full year. He turned around and looked at Carlton Fisk and he says, "Are we done yet? Can we play some baseball now?" Here's a young player turning around and having that presence. And then he just dropped his bat and went to first base. But I remember him when he was working out. His dad was a coach. Cal was working out with the Orioles, and he was 15 years old, and he was hitting them all the way out of Memorial Stadium.
He was a big guy. Dad was a good coach and eventually became a manager.
He just inside outs that one. Slices it out there. So Franco aboard with his first hit.
Not much on this one, but couldn't have thrown it out there any better.
Here's Rupp. A grounder to second, a walk, and a strikeout. And he takes first pitch strike. Okay, take it down, boys.
Well, that was for Franco. That was about as early a slide as you'll see. He should have just stood at first base and slid there.
Oh boy.
That one really hard hit, and then Michael Franco says, "You know what? There's no real reason for me to get even closer, so I'll slide and get out of here." Yep. A little short of the bag.
Here's Galvis. He's 0 for 3. Harold, he was on that ball club talking.
There's Harold regaling them with stories. Ron Kittle, who
he will entertain them.
He will definitely entertain them. In fact, into the night if they let him.
Lindsey Jordan, Rob Boaz. There's a base hit by Galvis. And those are our premium seating. Sox fans, there's Rob. Big dog. He's a good golfer too. Didn't get to play much. And there's Lindsay. She's a good golfer. You're going to play with us next year in that premium seating.
I played with Lindsay in a tournament last year. She's a good golfer.
That, yeah, some of those. Yeah, Kitty will. You know, he's just a big kid. He always has been, and he'll never change. He's got such a wonderful personality. And you're right, he'll talk to him all night long.
They'll listen, doubt.
He'll talk to
In fact, he'll come to their rooms and talk.
Oh yeah,
that's what kind of guy he is.
Yeah. One hopper, and that'll retire the side. We're into the 8th. We need a lot of help.
replay, and it's a very spiffy 4-6-3. I'm absolutely shocked that Franco didn't get down there in time. The speed replay is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV.
I tell you, on a ball hit like that,
nothing you can do.
Well, no, but when Jim Fregosi, former Sox manager, when he was playing shortstop, if he ever got the ball like Timmy got it there, that's about the time you hit the ground, because he was going to come from underneath.
Yeah, well, in those days you had to make sure you got down. Today it's not so much. As Neris comes in the game, he's been a real busy man.
Tim is 1 for 2, a walk, hard double, and then back in the first inning, he almost took one out of here, dead away center field. Caught just a little towards the end of the bat and still got it out there, taking Herrera up against that 401 side. Very strong hands and wrists that young man has. As we talked about, one of those kids that the more you see, the more talent you realize he has. Now, you still got to learn some things, but talent-wise, he just continues to impress you with his talent.
I want to see the same improvement from this year to next that we saw from spring training to this year, and if he can come even close to that, he's got a chance to be something special.
Well, if he can come close to that, he's going to be a star. It's just that simple. We're talking about some of those premium seating fans that we have here. We got Mike Sudol, Jim Foley, Jim McBride, Duke Thompson, Lou and Maria Kazuksko. Yes, got him right there. One out. Paul Pantola, Kenny Dalkey, Bob and Kathy Jacobs from Indiana Beverage, Bob Santastefano, Bob Modler, John Rudnick, Jeff Corrier, all having a good time.
Neris has a really good fastball.
One and one to count. Gray, a double, a walk. He's 1 for 2. Also hit into a double play as that ball says hammer. Watch out. Thank goodness it hit an empty seat.
That was either a straight change or a splitter. That was about 7 miles an hour difference between that and his fastball, and that's why Jose was well out in front of it.
Yankees have come back. They're leading Tampa Bay 5-3. Bottom of the ninth in St. Pete.
Yankees, despite an uphill climb, still battling. They're 5 over 500.
As he gets it.
In the third inning, off the bat of Melky. Line drive home run, and at the time, all was looking pretty good as the Sox led 3-2. But Phillies came back, and they've never looked back. A 4 drive of the game. Matt Albers loosening in the pen.
Boy, and certainly one of the huge stories of the second half. Gary Sanchez.
Absolutely amazing. Just amazing.
17th homer with 2 on. Meanwhile, a couple of strikeouts, a little can of corn to right, and we're going to the bottom of the 8th. pitching change as you check out our tail of the tape. Matt Albers comes on. Matt, who set a franchise record earlier in the season with 30 consecutive scoreless outings. As we talked about, our bullpen in the month of April was the best in Major League Baseball. But unfortunately, they had to be used so much because we only had one off day in literally a month and a half coming out of spring training. And they just had trouble recovering from that. No question in my mind. I'm sure the same with you, Steve, about the work that they had to get in, the usage that they had. Petrichka, that contributed to his injury.
I mean, it's going to be one of the challenges for Rick and the entire front office, trying to reconfigure the bullpen. Maybe get at least one pretty good left-hander, because Dan Jennings had a great year, but he could use a little help down there.
Yeah, Dan Jennings is legitimate.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Yeah,
he's had a great year, actually.
He is legitimate. Andres Blanco. 7-11-0 for them, 3-7-1 for us. Game one of this two-game set. Make your plans to be with us tomorrow night as Chris Sale will go for his 17th victory against Jared Eichhoff in that game over Comcast Sportsnet. Sale on the bump tomorrow night, going for number 17. That's right size, wrong shape.
He got around on that one pretty quickly and took it way out, but well foul.
You see Carlos Sanchez on the right. If he missed that game yesterday in Kansas City, he had a 431-foot home run. Little guy hitting it that far.
He had two of them, and neither was a cheapie.
No.
They went pretty well.
I told you about that one he hit in batting practice in Minnesota. Yep. I mean, that was a landmark. The 0-2 pitch. He gone.
Good change. Took a little something off with good sink, and then Blanco way out in front of it. Looks like the status quo in the Central is going to be in evidence tonight as Cleveland beat Kansas City 2-1. Andrew Miller and his record to 9-1. What an addition he was. And Detroit's leading Minnesota 6-0 on a one-hitter. Looks like they're going to wind up on top of that one. Bullpen up and going. Their closer, Yanmar Gomez. Trying to get him an inning of work.
I don't think Jeff Nelson's missed a pitch all night.
Haven't anybody look back to say anything?
No, I don't think he's missed one all night. And there have been some real close like that last one. They've got some really close pitches. That's a base hit back through the middle.
offense for these young Phillies have certainly been in attendance tonight. They got 12 hits, 7 runs.
And Miami, with all the problems that they've had, they're over 500.
Imagine if Stanton not gotten hurt, because he's everything to that ball club.
Yeah. Should be good. He gone. Yep.
And that was a whale of a throw. You got a good jump. And the throw right on the money. Omar with a base hit tonight.
Yeah, Omar's got a chance to be a good one.
Well, what we've seen is if you give him a chance to throw somebody out, he'll get it there.
That ball hit right at him. That's a hang whiffle. Meanwhile, we're into the 9th, trailing by 4.
Our bona fide player of the game. Take a look what he's done. Been a busy night. 2-run homer, couple of singles to go with it, with 2 stolen bases and 2 runs scored. Wrap your hands around the official Italian beef of the Chicago White Sox at one of the 19 Bona locations. Sox fans have made the trip.
So for us here in the 9th, it'll be Frazier, Narvaez, and Saladino.
37 saves and 42 opportunities. Genmar Gomez. He's had a very good run at it, especially for a guy that was not used as a full-time closer until this year.
Well, we've seen some pretty good arms come out of that Philly pen tonight.
Yes, sir. They've got some real good young players coming.
Got 0 for 3 back in the 3rd inning. He hit a rocket right to Herrera in center field. One and one to count. Still 5-2 Boston over Baltimore, top of the 9th inning. If you're just tuning in, Big Papi with his 36th home run. Wow.
What a year.
And again, you got to go back to one of those guys. It's not what he hits so much as when he hits it. One of the great clutch hitters that we have seen in the last 50 years. And he and Manny Ramirez, their new time together in Boston, may have been the best, certainly the best 1-2 punch I've ever seen. And I played against Mantle and Maris.
No, they were both devastating,
especially in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings when they had the other team had all their best stuff out there. And that's going to be foul. Yeah, when you do it in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning in today's game, you're facing the best relievers they've got out there. And most of the time that means the hardest throwing. Come on, Todd, light him up. Full count. No, but a base hit. Good way to start it. And here comes Omar.
He got one up and out over the plate as Gomez, who's a pretty good closer, but not overwhelming stuff. He does it strictly with his control. And when he misses, when the location is not good, he pays the price. That young fan with the Philly fanatic hat, ecstatic with the souvenir.
Narvaez has walked, gone out to left, and singled to left. And that ball hit well, but right at him, playing imperfectly. Still 1 out.
Watch MLB.TV Premium. You can see every out-of-market game live on HD on more than 400 supported devices and enjoy a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV because we're running out of games.
This has been one for the books here. Coming out of spring training with all that anticipation, all that expectation.
Lots of positivity.
Oh yeah, everything,
Positivity.
everything, and then getting off to the 23-10 start.
That one got a piece of Jeff Nelson, and Cameron Rupp checking back to see if he's okay. Checking to see if his mask is in one piece.
82 of our 150 games have been decided by 1 or 2 runs, including 52 of the last 91. That's found away. We have played 51-run games, tied for 3rd most in Major League Baseball behind San Francisco and Seattle. They have 53 each. We have missed a lot. Austin Jackson, Brett Laurie, Jake Petrichka, Zach Putnam. That energy that Brett Laurie is just, you can't speak enough of it. That energy is infectious.
I was kind of surprised because, you know, Austin Jackson had knee surgery. You never know how any surgery is going to work.
Right.
And didn't work well with him, but I thought for sure we were going to get Brett back.
Yep.
And if it just stayed with the hamstring problem, we would have.
Yep. Got him. 2 down. Yep.
But the hamstring, as so often happens when you injure one part of your body, in this case a hamstring, led to a quad injury, and that pretty much told the tale. Given the opportunity to Saladino, but good a player as he is, and he's been terrific.
Yep.
I mean, you're right about the energy that Brett brought to the park with him every day, and that's something that you miss.
Well, I've always been a Brett Laurie fan ever since I saw him when he first came up to Toronto. And even when he was at Oakland, I was always Brett. I loved to watch him play. And then when we got him over here, I even liked him more. So here's Leury. And I think we all know that energy is something that we have needed. And that's going to be a base that hopefully it did not get him except in the glove.
Well, I think he's going to be fine, and they're going to take a look. However, that was a rocket back to him as Leury picks up his first hit.
They got the glove.
Yeah, selected with the glove. It might have gotten a piece as Justin Morneau comes on to pinch hit.
Well, you touched on it yesterday. We're seeing more pitchers get hit now than we've seen maybe ever.
Combination of two things. One, the thought about the follow through and squaring up has gone by the boards as guys are looking for more velocity. So they're all falling off the mound to the glove hand side. Right-handers to first base, left-handers to third base. That takes them out of position to defend themselves. And also the maple bats, the velocity in which the ball comes off the bat consistently. That's a huge factor. And we're seeing guys get hit on one hoppers, which you didn't see a whole lot of before. Line drive, certainly that happens. But more guys getting hit, more guys getting hurt, and fewer guys able to defend what normally is the biggest hole on the infield, which is right back up the middle.
Justin fouls that one away in the count 0-2. So 2 down, 2 on, 0-2 the count. And we're seeing guys get hit more above the waist.
Yeah. And that's, that's pretty scary. Look at Carlos Carrasco the other day. Through 2 pitches, Kinsler hits a line drive back to him, breaks a bone in his pitching hand, and they don't know what's going to happen. They're hoping that Danny Salazar can come back in the bullpen for the Indians, but for Carrasco, it's another story.
One and 2 the count.
The Reds and the White Sox. Friendly rivalry.
Come on, one swing of the bat. Let's see what happens. 2-2.
Adam Eaton waiting patiently. We'd love to be able to pick up a base hit before this one ends.
It's full.
Closers in non-save situations historically have had their problems. And this is a guy that's had a very good year as a closer, and this was a non-save situation.
That just goes to show you about the adrenaline factor.
Yeah, that is no doubt. You can't manufacture it.
And that is ball 4. We're going to get a run here as Todd will score. Leury into third. So now one swing of the bat, and we got ourselves a tie ball game. We got a guy who can do it.
It's a walk and a wild pitch, making, at least for the moment, the run earned, and Jason Coates is running for Dustin Morneau. Bob McClure comes out to have a talk with his closer, who is struggling in this non-safe situation. Not an uncommon occurrence.
Guy I remember most with us who was a terrific closer, except in situations like this, Roberto Hernandez.
That's when most of them pile up the ERAs. You look at some high ERAs from closers and you realize that maybe the team didn't do as well as they possibly could, and they're put into non-safe situations. A lot to pick up that inning of work. That's when the earned runs really pile up.
Well, when we really hit skids really was in Kansas City when David went out to pick up an inning of work in the ninth. We had a 7-1 lead.
That entire series was disastrous.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was. Adam is due. He's 0 for 4.
And the outfield very deep all the way around. Trying to play a no double set.
Right where they should be. That ball hit into left center field, and nobody's going to get that one. So now here comes 1, here comes 2, and all of a sudden it is 7-6. Yes.
'57 runs driven in, and forget the no double set because they weren't deep enough. And that's going to be it for Genmar Gomez, who will come on to pick up at least 3 earnings, making this one very close. So as he walks out, we'll step out and be back after these messages. He does not have a save. On for the 20th time, ERA up there. He's tried to save one game. He failed. The opponent's hitting just 194 against him.
And here's Tim. He's 1 for 3. Come on, big guy. Breaking ball strike.
Good over the top curveball. When you average over a strikeout an inning, your stuff is pretty good.
0-2. Oh, he had a cookie right there. But the count. Got it.
Kind of surprising. I mean, you throw 2 curveballs. The guy doesn't have much of an idea on curveballs, and you throw him a fastball, very hittable.
Right.
And that was the setup pitch, you see. And lots of setup pitches wind up in the outfield.
Ground ball to shortstop, and this ball game is over. So they tried. They put a run on them. That bodes well for tomorrow. We score 3 in the top of the ninth, but we lose at 7-6, and we'll be back.